it's so enthralling and exciting to see how Black people can take up space in so many different spaces. Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode of Beautifully Nerding. I'm your host, Auntie Bri, and happy Pride, friends. Hey, be who you are. Yes, it is June, it is Pride, and I was able to kick my Pride month off with a whole lot of Black, queer, nerdy shit. It was so much fun. I want to tell you all a little bit about it, and then I have a little bit of a think piece. If you all will give me just a little bit of time, I promise we will get back to the TV shows and the movies and the animes and all that good stuff, because I actually am going to start a new anime. It's new to me, but very old to everyone else, because folks were on my head this past weekend. I refuse to stand for that. Let's backtrack just a little bit. So I went to 2 conventions back to back. Now, the first convention I went to was Momocon in Atlanta. Now, Momocon has been going on for decades. Like, this is a really big deal. They've been growing steadily year after year. They even had like a whole like history wall that kind of showed how they've grown and, you know, how many people attended here, where they were, different things like that. And I actually was a volunteer during the convention. So in the volunteer room, we got to see kind of a smaller edition of the history wall. It would show the year, how many people attended the convention, and then how many volunteers they had. You know, as it gets bigger, you need more and more volunteers. It's interesting to see like how many people it really takes to get something of this size underway. I recently started getting into conventions. Like, if you go back on my page a while ago, I talk about kind of one of my very first convention experiences. I enjoy conventions so much because it's really just a space for people who are really into whatever fandom it is to fully embrace and get into conversations and be around people who also love that fandom just as much as they do. While I have been going to more anime heavy conventions, as a comic girly, I do still feel like I am able to fully appreciate and enjoy the community that's being created at these conventions. So I will say Momocon isn't just like an anime convention. It definitely is a pop culture convention, because they have all different kinds of panels. Like, you'll see people in cosplays from everything from animated video games to comic books to cartoons. Like, people are literally dressed up as everything. And of course, people are dressed up as nothing because they don't feel like cosplaying. They don't want to cosplay. Maybe they're not ready to cosplay just yet. And that's completely okay. Like, nobody's like, ugh, they're not in cosplay, can't believe them. Or like, ugh, they're all in like, it's none of that. It's literally just a place for everybody to come together and have a good time. I will say that the only downside that I had with Momocon was, as a volunteer, my schedule was very staggered. I don't think that allowed me to be able to enjoy the convention as much in my downtime. Like, I would work one panel and I would have maybe like 45 minutes in between before I had to go to the next panel, because we had to be at that room early to make sure that everything was prepared and you know, all the microphones are working, and you know, does anything need to be here, are we missing anything? And then like, once the panel is done, you can leave. But it's like, you can't really go to a panel in between, because you'd have to leave like midway through whatever panel you're at to go to the next panel. I feel like that staggering didn't really allow me the time to fully enjoy. But the time that I did have of where I wasn't working, because there was one day I just didn't work at all, which was wonderful for me, because I got to actually like hang out with my friends, you know, listen to people talk, go to panels, ask questions, and like kind of relax and enjoy the convention. Because I didn't even realize it, I really kind of didn't relax at all on the days that I was working. And I'll always recommend that people like work things like this. Like, if you're not necessarily like a content creator or press, or you know, you're doing something to where you need to be like working it, I feel like just going and like to enjoy it and have fun, there's nothing wrong with volunteering as well. Most conventions won't ask more than like 12 hours of your time during the entire weekend. So that's what, if you break that up over 3 days, that's 4 hours a day. Like, that's literally nothing. And I'm the kind of person, like, I would rather work as early as possible, get my hours out the way, and then go on and do whatever else I want to do for the rest of the day. And I'm the kind of girly that during convention times, I don't really sleep. I'll be so excited that, like, I'll stay up till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning and wake up at like 7, like ready to get ready for the next day, because I'm just so excited. And of course I crash after the fact, like, if that's gonna happen. But during the actual convention time, like, I am like ready to go, because I want to see all the things. I want to see all the cosplays, like, because some people are really, really into it. Like, I'm not a big cosplayer just yet. I'm more of a cosplay / what can I get here and there, because cosplay is not cheap. Like, I'm working on one right now, and it's like I'm trying to figure out, like, what kind of body paint do I get, what kind of suit do I want, what shoes. Like, it's so much that goes into it, and like prices are adding up. And if you just keep like buying off these pre-made suits, which is fine, you could do that, there's nothing absolutely wrong with it, but it just adds up. And I'm the kind of person that's like, there's a vibe for this character in my closet already, so I just try to find a vibe. Like, Zoro is one of my favorite people to cosplay, and I don't think I've ever had like an accurate like Zoro cosplay. I just have something that's either a black or a green base, and then I put white and whatever other color that I didn't use as the base on top of it, and then I just draw a scar over my eye, put that bandana on, put my swords on. You know who I am, okay? Like, once I have them swords on my hip, there's no question who I am. And then I also have some Zoro shoes, which usually I'm gonna wear. I'm a big proponent of closet cosplays. Like, look in your closet, see what you have, and just feel the vibe. Like, if you are wanting to cosplay somebody from Naruto, really all you need is that headband. You can kind of get away with just like general color schemes. And I am a big pusher of see what you have now before you go buy more things. I'm super huge on use what you have right now. But let's maintain it on cosplays. But yeah, no, Momocon was a lot of fun, albeit extremely stressful for me. But I don't know if it was just the way that my schedule was made. I don't know if other people's were also staggered like that. For me personally, I think I would have had a lot more fun if my schedule was like back-to-back things that I worked instead of like here and there. But that's on me. You live and you learn. And so after Momocon, I came home and I was so incredibly sick for 2 days, and I knew that I was going to go to DreamCon. So I told everybody, because usually I come home and like everybody is like down my throat, everybody needs something, I'm getting pulled this way, that way. I was like, hey everybody, I am sick, I need to rest, I'm about to go back out of town. I refuse to go out of town sick, so just let me sleep. And I pretty much slept for like 2 days. Like, I would wake up, I would take my medicine, I would go back to sleep, because I needed to feel better before I went to Texas. And it worked. And I fortunately had already kind of started packing for Texas before I even went to Atlanta. So by the time it was time to go to Texas, I was ready. And then I woke up and Delta was like, hey girly pop, your flight has been delayed. We can actually get you on this flight. Just let us know what you want to do. Which would have been fine if that message hadn't have been sent to me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because your girl was knocked out. Because I was supposed to have been at the airport at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So it was a whole thing with me calling Delta, being like, hey, I missed the Texas. It came at 3 o'clock in the morning. What other flight can you get me on? And they were like, well, we can get you on this Delta flight, but then your connected flight has to be through United. And then learn from my mistakes. If you can avoid it, please do not cross airlines. Of the very few times I've had to like connect airlines, I'm a Delta girly through and through. Like, me and Delta Airlines, we've been like this since I was a kid, because my granny does Delta and I would always travel with my granny. Delta's all I know. And so when Delta was like, you could fly United, I was like, well, what other choice do I have if I want to get there in a timely manner? And shenanigans ensued. My bag got lost. I didn't end up getting until like the third day that I was there, which was crazy because I was in Houston for 6 days. So I had time, but I got there Wednesday. Thursday, I didn't have my bag, and I didn't get my bag till Friday morning. It was a mess and a half, but we got it together. But if you can avoid it, do not cross airlines when you are doing a flight. Just stay with the same carrier. So we get to Houston. It's time for DreamCon 2025. Now, this one I was so excited for because I actually volunteered with DreamCon last year, and I knew immediately that I was going to want to come back this year. So as soon as 2024 was over, I was like, drop the application for next year because I will be back again. They only ask like 12 hours of you. I think I ended up signing up for like 17. I pretty much worked the entire time. And I only say that because there were a few panels that I wanted to go to. Like, there weren't as many because a lot of them were very like anime heavy, or you had to have RSVPs for them. As someone who pretty much only watches One Piece, I did miss a couple of panels that I did want to go to because my friends were hosting them, but like literally just ripping and running everywhere and then like being tired, I forgot. And I feel so bad. But I was able to see that they had like great turnouts and like the events themselves went really well. So I love that for them. Just wish I could have been there. That's on me. I would say of the things that I did attend, probably one of my favorites would be the One Piece meetup, because the One Piece meetup is almost always the biggest meetup there is, because One Piece is one of the greatest animes of all time. If you ask me, it is the greatest anime of all time, but also I've only watched like a small amount. So who am I to say, who are me to say, but I thoroughly enjoy One Piece. So funny enough, I actually ended up getting overwhelmed and overstimulated during it. So like there was only one Frankie, and it was a girl cosplaying as Frankie, and I helped her like get to the middle so she didn't like miss her opportunity to get her pictures. And after that, I was just like, it's a lot of people here. This is not exactly the best place to have this, because the meetup was essentially in the hallway. This is way too chaotic. I don't want to be here when the fire marshal shows up. The fire marshal never showed up. I'm just real scary about stuff like that. Like anytime I'm getting close to breaking a rule, I will skedaddle. I'm not a rule breaker. I'm a rule follower. I'm a rules exist for a reason kind of girl. So I was like, I gotta go. My second favorite meetup was the meetup hosted by HBCU Con, and it was essentially like an HBCU / Black Greek meetup. What was supposed to happen, at least what it said in the description, was that it was going to be HBC. So it was a 2-hour meetup. And the first hour was supposed to be HBCUs, and the second hour was going to be Black Greeks. And so I got there maybe like 15 minutes after the fact, and the Q's are taking pictures. And I'm just like, why are the Q's taking pictures right now? Because it's supposed to be like Alcorn and Prairie View. Like, what's happening right now? And so I don't even know if the HBCUs really got their time to shine, because again, when I got there, they were already on D9. And so I was like, okay, cool. You know, everybody's like, will like take their picture, do their little call. Some folks are like stepping and stomping and hopping and all that good stuff. And it's just so replenishing and validating to see, because so many times, like I say, and I hear other people say how much, you know, we as a race, we as people contain multitudes. But it's events like this, like it's events like DreamCon that let you know it's like, hey, the majority of us are Black. Almost all of us watch anime, watch comic book movies, or read comics, watch cartoons, play video games. We all do these typically nerdy things that people might have judged us for when we were younger. And then at this particular meetup, all of us have joined and are members of Black Greek letter organizations. And so it's just like these seemingly and stereotypically very different aspects of life And it's just like, why do I have to pick one of these things to do? I can be all of these things. I contain multitudes. It's so enthralling and exciting to see how Black people can take up space in so many different spaces. And I love it so much. And then I get online after the fact, and there were people who were mad that, or people who were in their feelings, felt a type of way that some people were being kind of Greeky at spaces that they deemed to not be Greek spaces. There was a video, if I can find it, I'll put it in here, of some cues were like hopping, maybe like the exhibit hall or something, and somebody like recording them was like, why they doing all this? We not in college. Okay, but why do I have to only be a nerd while I'm in this space? Why can't I still be a member of my organization? And it's just interesting how, you know, we try to have these spaces where it's like, come in and be comfortable, but then it's also like you have the people who want to gatekeep those spaces as well. And it's just like, I'm so sorry that you don't feel like you have the space to explore everything that makes up who you are, but that does not mean that other people are going to stop being true to themselves. It just made me really sad, because in that space before, I was just so happy seeing everyone just having a good time and networking and mingling, and like it was just all laughs and so much fun. Like, granted, I thought we were gonna break the floor of the second floor for a second, but it's still standing, so you know the GRB is still in one piece. But then it's like you get somewhere else and you got people just being like, ugh, we supposed to only be doing this. And it's just like, says who? We can't keep trying to hold each other down because we feel like we have to conform to a certain way that we see how these spaces should be. And I just want better for us as a collective. It's really giving, until all of us are free, none of us are free. And until you release those thoughts of, they're not the kind of Black person that I think that they should be, none of us are going to be able to be who we want to be. But yeah, I just had a little bit of a think piece that I wanted to get off of my chest, and I felt like this would be a pretty good place for it, seeing as I watched zero TV because the Wi-Fi in my hotel was atrocious and my Fire Stick was not working. So I pretty much kept my TV on like Cartoon Network and Disney Channel the entire time. So I watched a couple episodes of Bob's Burger, which I've never actually sat down and watched. Tina, oh my gosh, Tina is something else. I don't know why did no one tell me that Bob's Burgers went that hard? Because that it felt like I was watching a movie. It was one episode. It felt like I was watching a movie. Yeah, that is it. I have no idea what I'm watching next week. I really want to watch a classic, but I also want to kind of watch some anime, but like I also want to see what's new. And it's just like, if please, if y'all have suggestions for things that I should watch, please leave them in the comments down below. I promise I read every single comment, and I am looking for new things to watch, and there's a lot of streaming services and I can't keep up with everything that's on all of them, so please let me know. Don't forget to like this video, share with all of your friends, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and with all of that being said, I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.